Have you ever heard about inequality before? And do you know what is inequality? And what do you think about it? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Yes, of course, inequality is bad thing. It's not a good thing and we have to solve it immediately. If not, yep, we're going to have a big problem because of inequality. And it has a very big effect in our daily life and society. And also, do you know that inequality can happen in every aspect, not only one aspect? Maybe most of the people think that inequality only happen in one aspect, like economic inequality, like income inequality or social disparities. But no, guys, there's a lot of inequality that happen in every aspect in our life, in society. Well, we're going to discuss about 3 inequalities that happen in our life. Okay, so here are the 3 main inequalities that we're going to talk about. The first one is income inequality, the second one is gender inequality, and the last one is social disparities. Yeah, we all know that all inequalities are bad things if we don't solve it immediately. If we don't solve it immediately, it can be a big problem that can affect and have a big impact in our life. Okay, so we have to solve it. And based on Ipsos survey in partnership with King College London Policy Institute finds that people from 28 countries, including Americans, most of them think that the most serious problem is the income and wealth inequality, with an average of 16% from all across the country and 57% in the United States. So, we are here as the agent of change. We have been able to solve this problem. We can start with very simple and small things in our daily life. Okay, so if you want to know how to solve this problem, let's start the main points. Okay, so the first is gender inequality. So, what do you know about gender inequality? Well, we can easily know what is gender inequality by taking a look with the word gender and inequality. Gender refers to like a boy and a girl, or men and women, or male and female. And inequality is something that is not equal. So gender inequality is like a social phenomenon that happen in our life, in society, when women and men is not treated unequal or not equal. But here, women are the most disadvantaged because every day in every country in the world, women are confronted by discrimination and inequality. They face violence, abuse, and unequal treatment at home, at work, and in their wider communities, and are denied opportunities to learn and to earn and to lead. It's actually being treated equally and enjoying the same rights no matter your sex or gender is a fundamental human right, and women and men are deserve it. So here I'm going to give you 5 examples of gender inequality. The first one is gender pay gap. So women are often paid less than the men for the same work, with a global average gender pay gap of 16%. From unequal pay to underrepresentation in leadership positions, women face countries' challenges in both their professional and personal lives. According to the World Economic Forum's 2021 Global Gender Gap Report, it will take 135.6 years to close the gender gap, an alarming and disheartening statistic. So it's a very long time. The second one is limited opportunities. We know that women are often restricted when it comes to job opportunities, with many industries and positions dominated by men. When women find a job, they always fail because of the man role. Like, for example, security. Maybe women can also be a security, but here men are the dominant, so women, it's kind of hard to be a security. So the third is the stereotypes. You know that women are often stereotyped and discriminated against based on traditional gender roles and expectations. So maybe we also often hear that women are weak, women can't do anything, women just stay at home and cook, do the chores for their husband. It's all wrong. No, guys, stop do that. Number four is discrimination. Women often get discrimination in everywhere they go. So, for example, in employment, in education, and also in healthcare, they are so hard to access it. And the last one is child marriage. Yeah, child marriage is still happen in our daily life. And girls are still forced into child marriages, denying them an education and opportunities for their future. Guys, we know that there's a lot of gender inequality that happen in our life, and we should stop it because it's getting worse. Okay, so if you ask how to solve it, so here, if you are stuck in the education aspect, so the role teacher is really important here. We have to equal the access to education for girls and boys is important. The role teacher is important too, because teachers should also be trained to avoid gender stereotypes in the classroom and encourage the gender equality. And the second one, which is the last that has a very big impact, is the laws and policies. You know, governments need to implement laws and policies that support gender equality. For example, maybe they can make such policies include equal pay, affordable childcare, and parental leave for both parents. And if we started from the small thing, we can just support the women's rights. If we see any gender inequality, we can just say them that's not the right thing. And we have to involve men so men can also know their limit. It's not only men that are dominated, but also women.
The second one is economy and wealth inequality. So, the world now is facing a growing problem of income and wealth inequality. According to the World Inequality Database, or WID.world, the richest 1% of people in the world now own more than half of the world's wealth. This means that the poorest half of the world's population owns less than 1% of the world's wealth. This inequality is a major problem because it leads to a number of other problems, such as poverty, crime, and social unrest. For example, a study by the World Bank found that income inequality is a major factor in explaining why countries with high levels of inequality also have high levels of poverty and crime. There are a number of reasons why income and wealth inequality is on the rise. One reason is that the global economy has become increasingly globalized. This means that businesses are able to move their operations to countries with lower wages, which has led to a decline in wages in developed countries. Another reason for the rise in income and wealth inequality is that the tax system in many countries favors the wealthy. This is because the wealthy are able to afford to hire accountants and lawyers who can help them find loopholes in the tax code. So, now the question is, what can you do to help address income and wealth inequality? The first one, you can contact your elected officials and tell them that you support policies that will help to reduce income and wealth inequalities. The second one is you can volunteer your time to organizations that are working to address this problem. And the third one, you can donate money to organizations that are working to address these problems. We all have a role to play in addressing income and wealth inequality. Let's work together to create a more just and equitable world.
Okay, the next is social disparities. Social disparities refers to the unequal distribution of resources, opportunities, and privilege among different groups of people. The first reason why social disparities must be dealing with is that they undermine the principle of fairness and equality that we hold dear. By dealing with social disparities, we unlock the full potential of every individual, leading to a stronger, more prosperous society. The example of social disparities is mostly about socioeconomic status, where people with higher income or a higher salary often have better privilege than people with average income and salary. Lastly, all of these inequality problems can be solved if we have a self-awareness against this problem. All of inequality that happen in our society really have a big negative impact. Income and gender inequality, also social disparities, must be solved and we need to end it now. We are the agent of change. So let's be the problem solver and let's be a better person for our own goodness. I'm Raihan Maulana.
And I'm Josephine Desi.
I'm Alvin Noor.
Ciao!
Ciao.
Ciao.